Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 980, our solve count. We're really getting there. We really are. Right, we got a pair of 7s here, a 4 that my brain can't get around. There's one other. What's this one? Haven't tried this yet, so we certainly can try it. That does that. That's an easy one to start with, isn't it? It's just the Palisades and the Inequalities. Any other super obvious ones? Well, I think this is going to have to be that, right? Because the only other option would it be that, and that can't be. So that's good. Then if this is at least 5, this is going to be at least 6. So this is 5 plus. That means this is 6 plus. This cannot do this because that can't be true in both directions. This can't be a 1, so that has to be a 2. Which means this is 3 plus, which means this is 4 plus. That has to get out. It could do this. That would be valid, at least in as much as we can have a 1x1 existing on the board. Anywhere else we can go with what we have. This is a 90-degree angle on a flat line, which means this must take that because it's either going to have that line or that line to make its 2 sides. So it must take that one up there. Those have to be parallel, but we don't know which way yet. Same for those. This is going to get that one, much the same as that got that one. This has to be at least 2 large. Because this has to be at least... Oh yeah, this has to be at least 2. Because it can't be a 1. That means this has to be 3 plus, which means this has to be 4 plus. Not 4, 5. 4 plus. What other things can we get out of what we've got? Is a great question. This is a 2 plus. Means this is a 3 plus. Which means this is a 4 plus. It's a 4 plus that cannot go further than that border. So it would either have to be this. Can't be that. Could be this. No. Can't take that because those are connected in a chain. Can't be this. Can't be that. Is it just this as our only viable option? Because that can't do that. So I think that's the only option. Which means that comes out to there. That means, yes, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. That's okay. If this is a 4 plus, it's going to have to be that. So that's 2, 3, 4. That can't go. That can't go either. Maybe that's not right. Two, three, four. This has to be 3 plus. Can't do that. If this was a 4, this can't be a 5. It simply can't. So this has to be a 4, whether it's this one or this one. Which means this has to be a 3. Can we do it this way? So that's a 1. Which goes into a 3, which goes into a 4, and a 2 into a 3 into a 4. That can't go that way. That can't go that way either. I don't think it can do that. Because this can't exist on both sides of this greater than, less than. This can't be a T, and that can't be a dead end, so... a lot of this ain't right. This is still always a 5. Which means that must come to be a 2 there. Because it can't be that and be on both sides of a loop. So that's got to be a 4 plus. This has to be a 3 plus. So that's all fine. I just didn't have it right for whichever way I was going. Is there something else? Somewhere I can be working on? This is going to be either this or this. If it were this, that would be 7, this would be 8 plus, this would be 9 plus. That seems unlikely to me. Yeah, that seems unlikely to me. So these both feed in the same direction to the 6. That's fine. This is, I believe, an ambiguous domino. Which means this is a 3, which means it has to go out to there. Which makes that true, I think. Now that means that's true, which means that goes out there. And that would have to do something like this. But now I'm worried I'm breaking this up again. Because that can't do that. Well, it could be a 5. Could it just be massive? Could it be that? I think it could be. Let's go with that then, because then everything past that line is happy. That's the 3, that's the 2. That goes that way. This is 3, this is 3. This is a 1 or a 2. It's 2. That gets that end. Please let this be correct. That would have to do that. 6 with this being bigger can't go. So that's too big. Damn. There's no other way that can go. That would be 6. Which would mean this would have to be 7. And it just can't be. Balls. Let's maintain this potential big 6+ area. 3+ can't do that because that would be... Oh no, it could be 4. I keep doing 3+ must be 3, but it's not true. That could do that. Then that's 2. Four is bigger than 2. 1 is smaller than 4. Oh, what have I done? This has to be at least 4. These two can't be in the same region. Damn. Alright, try that again. You have to do that. But that can't be part of this. I think a lot of this is wrong. Yeah. Okay, don't reveal the mistake. I'm going to get rid of this button before I start using it too much. I turned it on at the end of the last episode and then didn't need it for the thing I was doing. And I found the solution of my own, and that was nice. Okay, so it's not much loss to know that... Oh, that's there. This has to go to there. And can't join that. That's a 2. That's 3+. That's 4+. And that's what we know so far. Great work, me. 4 has to get out. Is there something else I can use? Unfortunately, I feel like this is where a deduction is to be made. I just don't know what that deduction correctly is. What were the other things we need to be true? That goes there. That goes there. This is going to make a T shape. What else do we know? Would you believe it's the chlorophyll in the leaf? Maybe one of you gets that reference. Maybe. But, you know, we're all chronically online people. Maybe there is one of you out there that knows what I'm going on about. If you don't, you should go to dropout.tv and watch Game Changer. It's fantastic. I'm just staring right now. I don't know what's going on anymore. If this were true, right? If that was the 4, that would have to do that and be a 5 somehow. And this would have to be a 6 somehow. And that can't be. So is that the 4? I can't see the move. This comes out. This is 5 plus. This is 6 plus. If this goes this way, then it has to go all the way down to here. That's a great point. Because that has to go to there. Actually, no. That could go something like this. So that's 2. That's 6. This would have to be 7. Three, 1, 4. Then this needs to be 4, and I don't think that can be a 4. It doesn't have to be 4, it just has to be bigger. Oh, I totally biffed this. I biffed that so hard. That would have to go that way. That would have to go that way. But they can't be part of the same grouping. 2. Alright, I don't think the 6 goes down. I think that has to go that way. That has to come out. Does that really help me? Probably not. That's a 3. That has to be at least a 2. Hold on. Right, let me recalibrate some things here. This has to be at least a 2, 3, 4. We figured that out before and I've not been marking it and I've been losing progress for it. So this can do this or this. This then can't join that unless I can make this be a 7. I mean, technically I can. This has to be smaller than 7. 1 is smaller than 7. This, oh god, this has to be... Okay, this can't happen, because we can't have a 7 here, an 8 here, and a 9 here. That ain't happening anytime soon, is it? No, it's all bad. It's all bad. I don't know what I'm doing. There's clearly a move here. Somewhere that I'm not seeing. I'm just going around in circles. A lot. This acts as a barrier, right? Because either this is true and nothing can cross over it, or this is true and nothing can cross over it, or this is true and nothing can cross over it. So something can terminate there. The same is true on these, but these are already like way more confined. It's just that this can't stretch over the gap. Why doesn't this work? Because that can't go that way. Stop making the same mistakes over again, I beg you, Gothic. Yes, we've resorted to lambasting myself in the third person. This can never be this. Because we can't do that. So this must take this. Is what we're learning. Okay, if this has to be bigger than this, that can be a 1. 2, 3, 4. This has to get out. But then this all breaks down here. This 4. I mean, it's 3. This is a 2, 3, 4. At least. Or a 1, 2, 3. But this has to be a corner. And if that's a corner, this can't get out. It just all keeps going wrong every single time I look at it. It's so upsetting that I'm making so little progress. Every single time. And I keep finding errors now. I don't feel like I'm learning anything. This is 2, 3, 4 plus. The only way this can be 4 plus, it can't do that. Can't do that and leave that trapped. Two. That can't be a 1. How? I don't see it. I've gone completely space blind. Nothing makes sense to me anymore, and I hate it. No, that has to come to there. On a 2, 3, 4. It's just palisades and inequality. There's nothing else about it. We can have ones. We can have things being the same shape, next to each other. How does this make a 4 plus? It can't touch over this line. If that was a 2, that would have to do that. And that would have to go 5, 6, 7, which it can't. So that means that has to go that way, except it can't because this needs to go, so that has to go that way. None of this makes sense to me at all. Have I done a different puzzle today? Has it just been this half hour? I can't remember, and I hate that I can't remember. Oh. Alright. I'm going to take a minute, and then we're going to solve this. Okay. This touches all of those. Has to. This cannot consume that in any way, so that must do this. This cannot do that, because this has to be bigger and that has to be bigger than that, so this must exist. This is an L on a line, so that must take that tile. This is an L on a line, that must take that tile. These are all things that are definitely true. This is an X plus 1, and an X plus 2. If that's going to be true, this can't go this way and that way. Because this would be 4, 5, 6. And if that goes that way, then this would have to be bigger than this, and that breaks everything. So, if this is X, X plus 1, X plus 2, can it be this? This would have to be 2, 3, 4, but this can't find 4 out of this. This can't exist on the same as that. That can't be a 1. That can't be a 3, 3, so that can't do that. So what else can we do? This is 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus. If this is true, this 4 plus can't exist because we can't take both of those. If this is true, the only way the 4 plus can exist is this. We can't take that because then we exist on both sides. So that 4 has to be that 4. Which means this is a 3. Which means that is a 2. I like that. That's nice. If this is a 2, 3, 4, that means this 4 must go there. But then that means that this would have to be the 3, and that cannot be. And that breaks everything down again. That goes that way. That would then have to be an 8. So all of that's wrong. How can it all be so wrong? Two, 3 plus, 4 plus. That could be true. This would still have to be a 2, 3, 4 though. And now it can't be. Because that can't exist. That can exist. 2, 3. Maybe this is a 5? Is that a leap into new territory? Could hypothetically be bigger than a 5. This is just bigger than this and bigger than that. So this is just 4 plus. Or 5 plus and could continue. This has to be a 1 or a 2. This has to do that. This 6 is the really scary part now. How on earth do you fit a 6 in all of this? Because, well, we do this, but did I do this? I swear I did this ages ago. Like a half hour ago I did this. So that has to go there. That could hypothetically be a 1. That has to go parallel. Oh dear. This is still a 2, 3, 4 plus problem, but that can't go there. This is the 2. That can't be the 4 either. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. That can't be 2 now. It all just breaks down every single time. Give me the goddamn check button back. Is this much right? No. How about if we get rid of this? Okay. Interesting. So then it's not this. Which means, is this going down? Two, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, because this would have to be an 8, and that would have to be a 9. We've been down this path before. If this is correct, then that has to be the 3. I mean, that could be a 4. Could be. Because this is now a 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1. Okay. None of this makes any sense to me at all. I'm so lost, man. I just want something else to give me something. I don't know if this is 5 or... I don't know if this is 5 plus or not. I know it's at least 5 because we have to get around that corner to get this to work. I just can't get this lower left corner to do anything that works. Can't do that, because this has to be parallel. If this can't be in the same region as that, if that's the 2, that's 3, that's 4, but this can't be 1. This is 5. This can't be 6. I'm so in the weeds. I'm so in the weeds and I'm so mad about it. And everyone has tuned out by this point. Fine, I played this one mostly for me anyway. So, that must come to there. It goes over. That must do that. Oh my god, is it that? Is it even bigger than I initially anticipated? 2, 6, 9. Six, 5, 7. Oh my god. This is 9, this is 7. This would have to be an 8. Can I make it an 8? Is there any world I can make that an 8? That's an 8. That's 2. This would have to be 3. What am I missing? God. What's the one mistake? It feels like it should be so good right now. Everything was going so nicely. These can't all be in the same zone. I feel like I'm so close. This is a 7. This is a 7. Oh, it was right there. All right, we didn't use the check progress that much. It was just real ugly. This thing. I got to this a couple times. I was like, oh, maybe it goes over there. Adding even more to it. Goddamn nightmare. But it's done now. There are 3 of these left. There's that one I can't do, and the pair of 7s. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.